All right. Good morning. It's my privilege to present this year's report on behalf of Canada West NYI. So this past year, serving as NYI president has been an incredible blessing as we've continued to walk alongside our churches, youth leaders, students, and young adults across Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. As I prepared my report, I found myself reflecting on the fact that every statistic I share today is just is a number for us, but a person in every youth group. Behind every conversation that we have is an event that has taken lots of planning. And behind every ministry is a leader who faithfully shows up each week and invests in the life of the next generation. Today, I want to celebrate not only what NYI has done this year, but what God is doing through youth and young adult ministries across our district. We sent out a survey, and one of the most encouraging things we learned is that ministry is growing on Canada West. We have churches beginning new youth ministries, rebuilding existing programs, and finding fresh ways to engage students in their communities. This may not seem like headline news, but every new youth group, every volunteer who says yes, every student who walks through the doors of a church represents an opportunity for someone to encounter Jesus. We also heard exciting reports from our youth leaders of students being baptized, welcomed into church membership. Every baptism represents a life transformed by God's grace, and every new member represents a student choosing to make the church their family. We thank God for each and every one of those stories, and we celebrate them. But when we asked our leaders what the biggest highlight of their year had been, the answer wasn't attendance, it wasn't special events. The overwhelming response was seeing students actively seek and hear the voice of God and then respond in obedience. Students are asking deeper questions, and then they're learning to discern God's voice. They're stepping out in faith and taking ownership of their relationship with Christ. And as a district, that's exactly what we hoped for. We don't simply want students to know about God, but we want them to know Him personally and to follow Him faithfully. We've heard incredible stories of students stepping into leadership in their local churches, young people helping to lead worship, as we've seen here this weekend, facilitating small groups, participating and facilitating alpha programs, serving in children's ministries and Messy Church, and helping teach younger students. The next generation is not simply the church of tomorrow, they're already a part of the church today. As we celebrate what God is doing across our district, I also want to extend an invitation to our youth leaders. If your youth group is having a special event, a retreat, a service project, or even just a regular Wednesday night youth group, we would love to be a part of what God is doing in your community. So please don't hesitate to send invitations our way, and where able, we'll get council members there to support. Whether it's a large event or an ordinary Wednesday night, we would love the opportunity to connect with your youth, with your students, support you as leaders, and build relationships with your youth groups. Now I'm going to highlight some district-wide events from this past year. Our first gathering took place at Family Camp, where we hosted a young adult campfire. We were encouraged to see approximately 25 young adults gathered together for an evening of food, fellowship, conversation, and connection. While the event itself was simple, it represented something much bigger. Across both Canada and the United States, churches are recognizing the importance of intentionally ministering to youth and young adults as they continue to navigate some of the most significant transitions in their lives. Young adult ministry continues to be a growing area of focus through the Church of the Nazarene. And I'd love to stand here today and say that we have it all figured out, but the reality is that we don't. In many ways, young adult ministry is still in the pilot stages, and not only here on Canada West, but across many districts throughout North America. What we do know is that young adults need meaningful community, spiritual mentorship, and opportunities to grow in their faith. And we believe that God is calling us to continue investing in this generation, and we're excited to see where He's going to lead in the years ahead. As we continue to dream about what young adult ministry could look like on Canada West, we would invite you to join us in prayer. Specifically, pray that God would bring forward someone with a passion for young adult ministry, someone who could help us dream, innovate, and develop a vision for reaching and discipling young adults across our district. Our next major event that we had was Snaz Party, which was held again in Edmonton at Southside Church of the Nazarene. We welcomed 96 students and sponsors from across the district. Because of the cost of NYC, we adjusted our format and created a more intentional opportunity for youth groups to connect and build relationships together. Students participated in wide games, group activities, spent time strengthening friendship and building community. We're grateful to everyone who helped make this event possible and the relationships that continue to grow because of it. Next, we held our annual retreat, which this year was held in April here at Camp Harmattan. We had 71 students and leaders from 9 of our churches across our district. The theme of the weekend was Further, where students were challenged to consider how Jesus continually calls us forward into deeper obedience, even when we don't have all the answers. Through worship, teaching, prayer, and community, students were encouraged to take the next step with Christ. Weekends like this remind us that God is calling young people to Himself, and He is still transforming lives. This year for us also included a leadership conference in Salt Lake City, where we continued to prepare for Nazarene Youth Conference 2026. Alongside my NYC coordinator, Penny Ure, I had the opportunity to represent Canada West as we gathered information, toured facilities, met with hotel coordinators, and collaborated with district leaders from across Canada and the US. All of this preparation has led us to an exciting milestone. As you heard last night, on June 30th, Canada West will be sending 66 students and leaders to Nazarene Youth Conference in Salt Lake City. Our students will be joining thousands of Nazarene teenagers from across Canada and the US for a week of worship, discipleship, service, and community. We're incredibly excited about the opportunity and the group that we have going, and truly believe that God has amazing things in store for the lives of our students and our leaders. While we were preparing flights, schedules, room assignments, and logistics, we know that the most important preparation that we can make is through prayer. To help us prepare, we're asking you to stop by our table at the back and do 2 things. We'd love for you to take a magnet, which has a student's name on it and church. So this one I grabbed here is Tucker from Southside. Place this on your fridge, a place I know you all go daily, and then commit to praying for this student over the next month. We would also invite you to stop by and fill out a prayer card. Perhaps there's a student from your local church that you recognize and would like to encourage. Or perhaps you simply want to write an encouragement note for the entire group. Once completed, place the prayer card in the bucket at the booth, and we'll ensure that these cards get in the hands of our students and leaders. As you take these magnets, pray before they go, that God would soften their hearts and prepare them for what He wants to do. Pray while they're there, that they would experience God's presence in a fresh and powerful way and hear His voice clearly. And then pray when they return, that God would place mentors, youth leaders, pastors, and caring adults around them who will continue to walk alongside them as they live out what God has started in their lives and ignite a faith within their homes, schools, churches, and communities. And we thank you now for partnering with us in prayer. As we look toward the future, one thing that we hear from our churches is that they would love to have more ways to support and equip their leaders. And because of that, we're excited that this fall, we will be launching a new training opportunity called The Journey. This resource consists of 14 short videos created specifically for leaders who want to be better prepared to come alongside this younger generation and invest in their spiritual journey. We'll gather 4 times online through Zoom and watch videos together, discuss the content, and learn practical ways to mentor teenagers and young adults as they navigate questions of faith and grow deeper in their relationship with Christ. In addition to the discussions, leaders will receive a practical resource that they can immediately take back to their local churches and implement with their junior high, senior high, and young adult ministries. And the sign-up sheet for that is on our back table as well. We believe that one of the greatest investments that we can make in the future of our church is investing in leaders who are investing in our students. Before I close, I want to mention one more exciting opportunity. Registration is now open for SNAS Party, which is taking place September 25th to 27th. And we would love to see churches from across our whole district join us for an incredible weekend of connection, community, and discipleship. Registration will remain open until September 8th. And if you're interested in attending, please take some of these cards and get them to people in your church. The QR code there is to register your group. And we invite you to start promoting and event planning now so that all of your teams in your churches have the opportunity to come together. And yes, we are going back to the water park this year. I would like to take a minute to thank my NYI council, who you can see behind me. Thank you for your faithful service, your leadership, your creativity, and your commitment to the youth of our district. I also want to thank every pastor, youth leader, volunteer, parent, and church represented here today. Thank you for believing in the next generation, and thank you for investing your time, your energy, your prayers, and all into the life of our young people. Everything I've shared today points to one simple reality. God is still at work in the next generation across Canada West. God is calling young people to himself. God is still transforming lives. God is still raising up leaders. And God is still building his church. May we continue to partner together in helping young people and young adults discover a dynamic life in Christ. Thank you.